Lost Culture, your one-stop destination for everything pop culture. My name is Aston, and today we're going to do a review and a recap for Empire Season 3, Episode 1, Light in the Darkness. So in this episode, we get to pick up exactly where we left off in Season 2. We get to see Rhonda and Anika actually fighting on the rooftop. We see Anika gets pushed, she falls. I'm sorry, not Anika. We see Rhonda actually falls off the roof. She hits the car. To actually, for perfect timing for the family, you happen to be walking to the car and we see Rhonda fall on top of the car. And in that instant, we get to see Andre, is really enraged. He goes right for Anika. He starts choking her. He kind of forces her into premature labor. But as soon as her water breaks, we get to see Dre kind of break out of it. He comes right to his senses. He rushes Anika to, I don't know if he called 911 or whatever, or how she got to the hospital. But we see he rushes right into action of not trying to harm her, but more trying to protect her. Less protect her, but more protect the baby. I would assume. It feels like maybe he didn't want to hurt an innocent child, but we see that happen, so that's what he does. And at the hospital, we get to see his character, it's still shaken up. We get to see it even though he's having a brand new niece, which should be a happy event in anyone's life, he's also still really shaken up and broken up about having just lost his wife. And we see the family is trying to console him, and Anika's in the hospital, she's still in labor, and we see the cops walk past. And when the cops walk past, basically we see Lucius is really quick on his toes in this scene. Lucius picks up when the cops walk past. He oh, that's not the feds, and he walks right into the delivery room. We see he's all scrubbed up, gloves on, perm still fresh. Walk in, talks the doctor's oh, you can't be in here. First of all, how you get in the delivery room without nobody stopping? He just walks right in. He basically just tells her, look, this is my wife right here. I'm gonna get we gonna work through this. I'm gonna coach her through this. So he's coaching her. He's actually a really good coach. I don't know if he was there for Cookie's baby, but in this episode, he's actually a really good coach. Besides the fact, that he's passing on to her the information that they need, or that she needs to know. Look, you need to go with this alibi that I'm giving you, so that everything is okay. And he's basically trying to keep her out of police custody for not only for her sake, but for his sake. If she gets arrested for this murder, which wasn't really murder, I think it'd be more of a self-defense. But if that happens, we see if that happens, and then while they're fighting, whatever, they might have a chance to interrogate her about their actual marriage. So when this marriage is going on, they find out this marriage is fake, she can get subpoenaed again and find out about his past ways. So with all that going on, it's really hard for this to go on. Now, it was cool to see he coached her in an alibi, but soon he found out that baby was a girl. He kind of a switch flipped inside his head. He went to the meticulous Lucius, where he's actually conniving and everything. And once he flipped that switch, he's oh, you lied to me, whatever. So he's just super hurt, not really hurt, but disappointed, betrayed. He's going through that, and we see Anika's face instantly changes, and the doctors asks him to cut the umbilical cord. He just blatantly just says no. That might be the funniest scene to me. It wasn't really funny, but it was funny to me that he just blatantly oh no, I ain't cutting that umbilical cord. Even when he walked in, he didn't really claim to be the father. He just claimed to be her wife. So to be her husband. So that was pretty funny. Now going on to next thing, we see Lucius is actually in the boardroom. Maybe the next morning. We see Lucius, we see Jamal, we see Hakeem, Cookie. There's no Andre, which is understandable. Andre is, I guess, leave it with in the context of the conversation. Jamal says Andre is coming to stay with him for a while, so maybe he's at home packing. We know he's still mourning and everything. It's understandable that you missed the day after your wife dies, in my opinion. But so we see he's not there. We see Cookie is very broken up about it. She's sorry that they're calling him into work and asking him about work information when he just lost his wife, and she wants Jamal to relay that to Andre. We're not being cold-hearted or anything. we're sorry. We all apologize for calling you in or asking information about work under these circumstances. We understand like that you're mourning and everything. So I'm glad they pushed that across. They weren't just gonna brush over Andre's losing his wife. Now, but in the scene, we see Lucius is actually talking to his children. He has no problem. Like him and Jamal, even though like they have that issue about Frida, they seem really cool. They are able to work together. Hakeem was actually seemed like he's able to work with his dad too, even though everything that just happened, he's able to work with him. But once he gets turned down once he gets turned down to perform on the little stream show, he basically like shuts down. And once he finds out that the parents are trying to correct all of his mess that he's in, not taking care of his daughter, all the drinking he's been doing, because we've seen his drinking has been getting worse and worse, progressing to get worse and worse from episode 1. I mean, yeah, episode 1, but season 1, his drinking has gotten progressively worse and worse throughout the series. So I'm glad they're confronting him, telling him like, look, you gotta start coming to work sober. You need to start focusing on your life, focusing on your music, and focus on your child if you want to be able to participate in anything that Empire does. We're not going to allow you to participate. We're not going to advertise for you, market you, or anything until you get your shit together. Which is like a cool thing to do for a dad. Like a regular record label wouldn't do that when they have they can make money off of them. But since this is a family run record label, they can tell them like, look, you're not doing nothing until you get your stuff together. And I'm glad not only Terrence Howard told him, well, Lucius told him that, but his mom also told him that, like, look, you need to get this together because I'm not going to hit you no more. There's no point. Like, you're grown now. You're going to do what you want to do. But I'm not going to respect you I'm not going to respect you as a man until you step up. Because, honestly, even though Lucius is an asshole to his children, he put them through all this messed up stuff, he's still their father, and he's still, he was there for him as a father. He still provided for him, which I can't say, Hakeem's not providing for the child or not, but it doesn't really matter at this point. Because the kid's going to be well off no matter what. But he's not stepping up as a father figure to this child. Which I know later on I'll talk on this subject a little bit more in depth, but as of right now, I'm sticking up to Lucius. So, yeah, I'm glad that Cookie actually stood up for Lucius, even though she's upset at Lucius also. Yeah, she cares more about her child's future than her anger at her, not ex-husband, but baby dad, her high school sweetheart, children of her father, love of her life. I don't know what to call them. It's kind of weird because they're not together. They're not really apart. Yeah. So, all that. And going on this episode, we get to see Lucius actually interact with Birdman, French Montana. We get to see when he's talking to them, they're like, oh man, how can you access for our catalogs and all our catalogs and everything if you don't even got your home right? You just did a married old girl, Elijah Queen, and I don't really understand how him getting married to another chick got anything to do with him being able to run a company. Even though we know his stock is down from what Birdman is saying, everything is down, and everything is basically down in the mud. I don't know why he kept saying the ocean. I've never heard that phrase before. You in the ocean. I've never heard that before. But yeah, so we had to see that. I don't know if he's gonna make the deal or not. I don't know, but I feel like Birdman was the worst person to use to talk about family issues in this episode. They should have picked a different person. They couldn't get Diddy or somebody, man. Birdman was the worst. I honestly feel like Lucius and Birdman might be the same character. But that's on a whole other level. But so going on from that, we get to see, he gets that information. He tells him, look, Empire's going to be good. We launching our new service, the streaming service. So we're going to be good. Which be smart for actual record labels to do in real life. I'm going off the subject. But, yeah, I'll get back to the episode. Going to this, now, with that being said, we get to see when Hakeem's in the studio and Exhibit basically just barges in and basically gives him advice and everything. He tells like, look, call me when you want some good. So like when you want me to work with you, actually get some artist development. Which Exhibit does in this episode, he actually does some artist development with Hakeem. Now, once like everything goes sideways, we see Lucius shows up. Exhibit basically shows his street cred once he gets insulted by Lucius by hurting the engineer's hand. And that's not really going to be the end. Like, obviously, he's kind of the reason why Hakeem's stuff fell apart. We see when he comes in the room, the first thing he does is confront Hakeem about the verses that Hakeem promised him. Hakeem basically tells him, like, it's not going to happen no more due to the fact that you kind of ruined my wedding and like made my girl leave me. Now, later on in the episode, we see Exhibit back at the office. He's trying to get in. He doesn't have permission to get into like the Empire building. We see Lucius walks in. We see him and Lucius actually have that conversation real quick. And Lucius basically says like, look, we're not really. They come to an agreement. When Lucius is walking away, he basically tells his bodyguard like, look, sometimes you got to play a sucker actually to catch a sucker. He basically tells him like, yes, Exhibit feels like he got something out of that conversation, but he honestly didn't get anything because he planned on cutting out the mic. Old girl can be on stage, but she's not gonna have any presence. Like everything, if anything, the whole thing is gonna be pre-recorded. So, like the background singer, the other two background singers might do something, or they might have a pre-recorded background singer so that she don't get no shine. But that's neither here nor there because we see how that turns out. Now, Lucius is like, oh. And we see when he gets back to the hospital, he finds out Ahsoka's not there. And I thought it was kind of suspicious when they brought up the fact that the nurses bought her a teddy bear. I've been to a lot of like, not really births, but like when my nephews and nieces were like, yeah, that's nephews. I don't have any nieces. Nephews were born. I've never seen like the nursing area, not nurses, the nurses come together and give people teddy bears. But I don't know any celebrities either, so it might be a little different for like celebrities and things of that nature. Now, so I thought that was suspicious. Obviously, it was plugged in. They plugged that little hint for later in the episode. Now, with that going on, we see. Let's just jump over to Hakeem in the story. Hakeem is basically, he's suffering too. Like we see after the wedding, he actually goes right to Soraya's house and basically confesses his love to her, tells her he always loved her, he still wants to be with her, or whatever. Passes out on her couch. She kind of not having it at first until he actually shows her the picture. She kind of like, I don't know if she really gives in with it, but she basically like, okay, whatever. Like she's okay with him just falling asleep on the couch. It seems like after he passes out, she sees like he's not trying to have sex with her or anything anymore. She's okay with that. Now we see Jamal calls. He missed the birth of the daughter, and we see Lucius actually brings that up later. At the same time, like at the family dinner and everything, we see that Hakeem, he tries to spend time with the baby, and we see he's not properly holding the baby right or anything. The baby's crying as soon as he gets her and everything. And as soon as that happens, we see that like Lucius comes in. He basically, oh, you want your daddy, calling himself the baby, the father of the child. Hakeem, like basically, yeah, Lucius already told Hakeem he can have the baby back once he proves that he's capable of being a father to this child. Forget what he says or something like. Forget what Hakeem said to him. He's like, well, I think Hakeem said I'm the father. He's like, that's not the birth certificate. That's not what the birth certificate says. But for the jab at him, pretty funny though, because Lucius does all this stuff to get under his children's skin. Like, it's pretty funny, like, how he does this stuff. He ain't allow it to happen. The worst jab, though, when he was putting the baby down, like, oh, all these strangers holding you and whatnot. Only 3 people been holding this child. Lucius, the child's mother, and then Hakeem. I don't know if he was talking about Anika and Hakeem being strangers or just Hakeem. But either way, it was pretty funny. Because we see anytime we see that baby, it's normally Lucius carrying the baby. I don't know how he runs a company and at the same time has all this time to spend with this baby. But he's making it work. I'm glad to see that happen. Now, even at the family dinner, we see his brother came earlier in the episode. We see Cookie's sisters are trying to get her to talk to him, give him information on Lucius. But I think Cookie understands, like, if Lucius goes down, and it kind of like destruction of the company. Like, it's a family. Like, it's kind of destruction to the company because even though he's not keeping the boys together, he gives them something to strive for, even if it's through hate or through anger and everything. He gives them something to strive for. So, like, with that going on, we see, like, at this family dinner, we see Tariq is actually going at each and every one of the other family members. We see he goes after the marriage first. Anika steps up and kisses Lucius. Pretty violent kiss, in my opinion. You know, when she reaches down, I don't know what she was actually reaching for. But when he grabs her hand, tells her, like, look, you're going too far. Because we see he was going for a peck. And Anika just went overboard. I don't know if it was just to piss off a Cookie or whatever, or to actually sell it. But she does that. We see Cookie's face. We see his face when he looks at Cookie. And he can't get that wedding. And he can't get the marriage. So he goes after Andre. He calls him a goon. Not a goon, but a henchman. His dad always groomed him to be a henchman. And then he goes after his mental illness. Like, oh, that's a good. I feel like he was going after the mental illness. I don't know if he didn't know about it or what, but I feel like he knows too much about this family not to know about Andre's mental illness. So he goes after Andre's mental illness. Was a good mind of ways. Then he goes after Hakeem, tells him, like, oh, he stole your baby, blah, blah, blah. He can't really get under Hakeem. Then he goes to Jamal. Jamal's not having it all together. We see Jamal brings up, like, his history with his dad, tells him, like, look, we still cool. So there's nothing you can do. Like, if he can't bring down his family, how can you bring down his family from the outside? So once he does that, you know, like, that's really it for Jamal's little part of the session. So of course, what he does, he moves on to Cookie. And once he goes to Cookie, brings up all this stuff about her and Lucius's relationship, everything hits the fans. Like, Hakeem playing it real cool. We see Jamal gets upset. We see Andre gets upset. I feel like Andre was kind of forced because Andre really didn't act crazy until Jamal got crazy. So I feel like he just thrown on the act. That's what my personal opinion. That's what it looked like. So yeah, that's how I really felt about that one. And moving on from that, like, not really much happened, but we had to see, I guess, besides, like, before he started going at all the family members individually, when he sat down at the table, he grabs a handful of asparagus and just eating them, waving it around like, oh my God, this dude, like, is ruthless. No table manners, no whatever. And it's crazy. So, like, it's crazy. And everything boils over, like, everything is basically shut down, whatever. And that was really it. And once everything boils over, like, the show actually starts and everything. Once the family's back at the show, we seen earlier that Jamal is still suffering through pain from when Frida shot him or whatever. So even earlier, we knew there was gonna be an issue with this performance because Andre's in pain. When we see he starts to get into, like, the bridge, he, like, kind of breaks down, gives the whole set like 10 minutes so he can, like, recover. He takes his medicine, talks to his mom. Mom tells him, like, look, you know Lucius gonna have an issue with you performing this song. You didn't get permission to perform this song, and he's basically gonna trip. Now, it's like, he basically said, I'm asking for forgiveness, not permission. Which is, like, a nice little motto. Not the best motto to go by. I go by it sometimes, and it doesn't always work out. But hey, when you just want to do something and you don't really feel like dealing with people and how they feel about it, pretty good thing to go by. I've done it a couple times in my lifetime. Now, moving on from that, we see when you actually get to showtime, everybody's there. He's performing. We doesn't even really perform. He opens up, kind of like choke. He doesn't. He can't do it. And with that, at first, when I first heard the song, I thought it was kind of weird that he kept saying sister first. And once he explained the song to his mom, whatever, and the situation to his mom, I understood it. Like, oh, he keeps saying, I can't look at my sister locked up like this. He's talking about Frida, which is weird because we see he defends her when he's talking to Lucius. Like, I can't believe you pulled this stunt with this song. And Jamal's like, she's innocent and nobody's trying to help her or whatever. Which, in truth, she's not innocent. She chose to shoot. Well, if she wasn't going to, she probably didn't plan on shooting Jamal, but she planned on shooting Lucius. And Jamal got caught in a crossfire. So, at the end of the day, no, she's not innocent. She was shooting someone. She was trying to kill someone. So, regardless of that, she was not innocent. And, like, I understand he forgives her. He understands what happened. But he has to understand, like, she truly is innocent. And she chose to... I'm not saying like she shouldn't have reacted to what Lucius did to her father, but she knows her father was in that life. She knows Lucius was in that life, and Lucius knows while being in that life, he's making himself vulnerable to things of that nature, which is why they're telling Jamal to get away from her at the beginning anyway. So that happens, and he breaks it like, look, this whole situation that our family been through, everything that's happened for like the last 2 seasons, like 2 years, whatever, has been your fault. Everything you've been doing has put us in this situation. I wouldn't have been hanging out with Frida if it wasn't for you. Like, the company when they got took, if it wasn't for you. Everything is your fault. All these people, all these fans, and everything is your fault. We don't understand why he said all these fans, because he chose to perform and everything. So these fans were there to show it for him also, but they stole his fans because Lucius actually performed. Now, a great point that Lucius did make in this scene was, all you guys complain about what I do, how I do things, things of this nature, but you guys don't have an issue eating from it. Which was a great point on like how you can't get mad at somebody for doing something when you're benefiting from it at the same time. You can tell you don't like it, but you're not turning away any of the money. You're not turning away any of the opportunities that comes with all the dirty work and things that he's been doing to put you in the position you're in. So I'm glad he said that. And with Cookie, whatever, we see he's talking about the he asked for thanks for the back up. She said, "Nah, I'm not really backing you up. I'm really just doing this for our company and our children." And even after the dinner and everything with the family, we see Lucius is back in the room with the baby talking to her and everything. And he's talking to Cookie and basically telling Cookie that he basically loves her or whatever. He doesn't really say he doesn't love love Anika or anything, but he tells her, like, I feel like with that recording, he could play off a lot of it. Like, a lot of stuff is like he could show like with a different meaning, because when Cookie's holding the baby and say, I have to worry about my future, he says, our future. He could be talking about the baby, not technically us being together. And just because he's cheating on his wife with his baby moms, don't mean the marriage is fake. There's a lot of people who cheat in their marriage and have real marriages. So, hey, like, there's a lot of stuff that can't really be taken proof. And on the other side of that, anything he gets from this recording, I'm pretty sure is illegal. So even if he does confess to something on there, he can't even use it in court because it's illegally obtained. He even says he doesn't have any reason to get a warrant or anything. So if he doesn't have a warrant, he has no reason to get the wiretap. And it wasn't like an official wiretap, like a nanny cam. So yeah, he's messing up. Like, he's messing up. And one big thing I did miss was how crazy Lucius's mom is. His mom, like, is 2 types of crazy. I don't know how to explain it. Anika walks in the house, and she basically talking about, oh, you trying to, like, don't come near my food. You trying to poison me. How can she poison food that you're cooking? Like, she just walked in the house. I'm pretty sure like the first time she even met Anika was like around. I can't remember if she met Nika or not last season, but she walked in the house. The first thing she says, "Oh, you trying to poison me? What the hell is going on in this house? Like, what?" She really needs to be put back in the home. Andre's done crazy ass. They got another crazy person for this family to deal with, and I don't know how like the maid or like the person who looks into the house, how she deals with this crazy lady. Like, I don't understand it. This chick is crazy. Ooh. And that's really all we have this episode. But oh man, when the girl steps up, I forgot Zip's artist's name. It's losing me. I'll have it by next week. But when she stepped up and performed, that has to be my Empire move of the week, because she stepped up, she killed it. All the fans loved it, and we see it kind of put Lucius in a bad predicament where he actually has to work with Exhibit now and get everything figured out. And we see Shariah's in the stands, and when we see the girl step up and start like tearing it down, we see like she gets kind of like, ooh, like she feels like her position is like at risk, and we already know she doesn't get that much play anyway. She was complaining last season about her not getting no love. Definitely when the little girl group came in, she was complaining, getting ready to leave. I think she did leave and go to Lion's Den. Yeah, so yeah, she already don't feel the love anyway on Empire. So this might just be worse, and I feel like this actually might push her closer to Hakeem's arms. But besides that, I like most of the stuff that's going on in the episode. I don't like I don't like how a lot of it is predictable. You know, it's or like just little things. Like my biggest thing is I did like how I see like Andre's character, not Andre, but Jamal's like character development is gonna be more based on his character and not the aspect of like his sexuality, which like kind of like threw me off last season, because there's a lot of like homosexual characters on like in books or on television whose character like arcs aren't designed around their sexuality. Like what's one of like a show that does it well? Like Modern Family. Modern Family, we see like the gay couple on there or the homosexual couple on there. Cam like actually like my favorite character on that show. He's super hilarious, but his arcs aren't always around him being homosexual. It's around him just being like a funny character and his quirks and everything, him loving clowns and things of that nature. So I wish they would kind of learn from that, not make like Jamal funny or anything, but just make Jamal's character arc more around him as a character and less about his sexuality. His whole arc doesn't always have to be about who he's sleeping with or him being confused about sexuality, because we don't have arcs about Hakeem's sexuality or Andre's sexuality and things of that nature. They're just straight characters, and them being straight isn't it is an element of their character, but it isn't a driving factor of their character, which it seems like they seem to fall back on for Jamal. And that's like a thing I didn't like about last season, but it feels like they're actually going away from that this season. I'm glad to see that. That's kind of like one of my ups. But thank you guys for tuning in. My name is Aston. I'll be doing this show every week now. Thank you guys. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe if you don't like something I said or you disagree with something I brought up or I missed anything. Just bring it up in the comment section. I normally reply within a day or two. If I'm online, I'll probably reply as soon as you do that. And thank you guys. As always, follow me or follow the Lost Culture channel on Instagram at Lost_Culture. You can follow us on Twitter as @LostCultTV, Lost_CultTV, and follow me on Instagram at Saint_Aston. And as always, stay lost. Recap for Power Season 3, Episode 9, I Call the Shots. So this starts off with Paperboy and Earn outside the club. It looks like Paperboy just